What's up? You're now tuned into Don Chenz Makes Friends, presented by Linden Ave Studio, and I am your host, Don Chenz. You are about to listen to or watch my interview with SWEEZY4REAL, one half of the duo Star 67 with MRG, who I previously had on the show. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. He's had a lot of big songs with MRG as Star 67, like End of Summer and Set, which he talks about was in the NBA 2K video games, which I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this have played before. He has a recent rock song called Rocksteady that I think has like 30 something thousand streams on Spotify at this point, but he's still pretty early in his career. He announced that he has an EP coming soon and full length follow-up albums coming out. But it's cool because he's surrounded by a lot of very successful people, but he's still early. So it's a cool perspective of someone who, you know, has had success, but is still super early. You should definitely check out his music. There'll be links in the show notes in the description. Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review on Apple or Spotify if you haven't. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, and hope you enjoy. Here he is. Welcome back to Don Chenz Makes Friends. I am your host, Don Chenz, and I am here with a good friend of mine. And I actually don't know what to call him because I used to call him Sweez, and then he changed his name.
I'm still Sweez.
Is SWEEZY4REAL though, all caps, all one word. So he changed it. So
see, I had to change it though because if I'm Sweez, people might not know I'm SWEEZY4REAL, but if I'm SWEEZY4REAL, I'm always still Sweez.
Gotcha. So SWEEZY4REAL is like the government,
exactly.
And Sweez the nickname. Or what actually? So Sweez is a musician. He is also a part of a group Star 67 with MRG, who you already watched his interview because I already interviewed him. Shouts out to him. But that's my first question was, why did you decide to change your name?
So there's a lot of reasons. Honestly, the major reason was I was going to Rolling Loud and I was like picturing myself on the bill. And I was like, if I saw Sweez there, it just seemed a little too like bare to me. Right. And I had my Instagram, all my social media has always been SWEEZY4REAL. It was the first gamer tag I ever like made myself when I was very young. And I was like, you know, I already have this. People struggle to get their artist name as their Instagram account and their Twitter account. And I already had all these things. So I was like, let me just pull the trigger right now, switch my artist name straight up. I had never put out any music by myself yet. So it was a good opportunity for me to just start fresh. I'm like kind of addicted to fresh starts, honestly. Like in a role-playing video game, I always start over. I never finish. I never finish the game. Like,
what's the role-playing video game you play?
You
a video game guy right now?
And not right now. Ever since I started making music, it's been harder to play video games, except for 2K, because I did have a song in 2K that was pretty sick.
Oh, what song? Which one?
Me and Matt had Set. Me and MRG had Set.
Oh, yes, I did know that 2K, was in there. Yes,
2K22,
that's one of my favorite Star 67 songs.
That's the most lit
But that's
song.
the hype one. Yeah, that is the hype one.
Yeah, but you should, if you're playing ball, and that should play, it was in the rec. So like it would be 5-on-5. We had all our players were 99, and we just go on there. My song would be playing. I would get hyped, just throwing up shots.
The changing your name thing, that could be important. Like I know MRG, he said he complains that I didn't want to ask him because it's a tire topic of his, but people calling him Mr. G.
Mr.
all the time.
G, that was his Apple Music name for like most of his career up to this point. Like he only really got MRG sorted out like in the last 4 years.
Wait, it like actually said that?
It said Mr. G. His music
Why?
was uploaded because they didn't know about him. They didn't care about him. Like they just
it's Apple Music.
Because I think it was M.R.G at some point.
So someone got confused.
Yeah, it was a whole.
Yeah, like that would piss me off so much, dude. That would like, especially as an artist, it's your whole brand.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only, like, there are other Sweezes out there. And that's another thing. There are other Sweezes out there.
Sorry, so the SWEEZY4REAL thing is necessary.
But there are no other SWEEZY4REAL. I
actually kind of get exactly what you're saying with seeing it on the bill of like a festival lineup.
Yep.
That SWEEZY4REAL stands out. That sounds.
And when it comes to merch, when it comes to everything, it's just more real estate.
There's more you can do.
With. Exactly.
Yeah. I feel that 100%. So are you a big visualization guy if you're saying that?
More recently, I have been, just because I feel like if you want to get anywhere in this world, like you gotta picture yourself being there, and you gotta like imagine it happening so it can happen. So I'm not like the biggest like manifestation person. Like I'm really a grinder. Like I'm out here, I'm putting in the work to make it happen. But yeah, you know.
I actually think me and MRG did talk about that when we had ours. Like people getting that misconstrued, the visualization thing, and thinking, you know, you could just manifest and it just happens, and discounting like it still requires all the work.
Yeah, of course. It still requires a lot of work, a lot of the luck, a lot of the just know-how. And at the end of the day, it's really persistence is how you get there. Like I've been making music now it's only been like 5 years since I decided to actually record my voice on a record. And I only have 3 songs out as an individual. Me and MRG only have 7 songs out as Star 67. I only got my recording equipment, like my own recording equipment, last year.
So how are you recording before that? Just with other people's equipment?
I would go to MRG's house every single time. I'll go to his house. I would have my songs written. I would go to his house and he would record me. And or I would go to my engineer's house and he would record me, or MRG would go on vacation. I'd be like, can I have your equipment while you're gone? Something like that.
I mean, this is like me using Casey for like his house.
Exactly. It's
to
kind of
record
like
my other podcast.
Like
yeah, exactly. And we were talking about how this shit's all expensive as fuck. So
and it's an investment in myself, but it's been the most fun I've ever had, man. I could just stay in my basement. I record in my basement. Me and my engineer put some soundproof walls up, and I just sit in my basement for like hours, just grinding it out. Just making tunes.
Do people even use professional recording studios really anymore?
People do, but I'm not one of those people. I never recorded in a professional studio before.
Really, never.
Yeah, I've never recorded. I've done mixing with my engineer in a professional studio because they have better speakers.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like when you're mixing a song, you want to be in the best acoustic room to be able to get it right.
But in terms of recording, I always recorded everything in either MRG's room or my basement. Or sometimes I take my equipment with me on vacation. It's mobile, so I could go to a hotel room and I could record there and stuff like that.
And people do crazy things. Like I forget what album it was. I want to say it was Bandana, where Madlib created all the beats for that on his phone. I know, like crazy. Tyler, the Creator, who everyone knows I'm obsessed with, he did his one song, Will Shire, on his last album, all on like a shitty handheld mic, and just left in all the plosives. And
Billie Eilish did all her shit in a bedroom. Like, honestly, that's the wave. Like, it's more raw. I feel like the sound ends up being more raw and real, and that's really what people are connecting with. Like, just that really like pure like artistry.
Yeah, I feel like it's a combo of the equipment's getting better, so you can get the same quality for cheaper than you used to. You can also use it as a style to try and, you know, keep it not as polished. But also the equipment is and the software and shit is so good now, probably, that it makes up for if there's any real differences than when you would record.
Yeah, and like the one thing I have is like it's like a foam ball. It's called the Chaotica Eyeball. Sponsor us. It's like you basically put it around the microphone, and it's basically all the sound, this acoustics you'd ever need for a microphone. And I wasn't sold on it, but then I saw Paul McCartney was using it, and I was like, "Oh, we out." I was like, "I need this right now."
Yeah, if it's good enough for Paul McCartney, it's definitely good enough for you guys.
Exactly.
That's so funny. Damn. All right, so I have like I've been listening. I listen to your songs a lot. I'm trying to get in the zone. Like, all right, and
I appreciate that.
I always listen to them. But my biggest question, like it occurred to me as I was listening to it in preparation for this interview, why are your songs so damn short?
Honestly, I think it has a lot to do with how I listen to music, and maybe my attention span is very short, but I have a hard time listening to longer songs myself. Like
I feel that if we're talking longer songs, you know, you're pushing 3.5 plus 4 minutes, something like that. Like that's long. But you're not even making 2.
But 150, like a lot of times around 2 minutes, the songs get boring. Not my songs. My songs are lit. They end because they end around that time. And then we go to the next one, or we run it back.
So that's very intentional that you do that?
It's also like it's intentional, and to the point where it's like, you know, does this need? I get to the point where I don't feel like this doesn't need any more. Like it's sing alongable, the verse is fire. Like let's just end it right here and move on to the next one. But obviously, like I was saying, I'm still in like the inception of my artistry. Like 5 years is not that long to be writing songs. Like I'm still figuring it out. I have songs that are 3 minutes. They're not out yet. But you know, we're working on it. The album, when I do come out with an EP and album, there will be 3 minutes plus songs.
So when I talked to MRG, he was anti-album. Are you anti-album?
He's trying to get me anti-album, but I feel like we're at different points in our career where he has multiple albums out already. So yeah, he could be anti-album now, but I don't even have a body of work out yet. So I feel like I need to put out an album.
Because what I say is my listening habit, because I would say probably more broadly, people would say that people don't listen to albums as much anymore, and it's more because everything's so playlisted that it's more singles. But my listening habits change the opposite. I mostly listen to full albums, like front to back. That's what I do that probably 75-80% of the time.
It's really had to do with the fan base too, because MRG's fan base is ever evolving because he's so big in advertising that like singles are hitting for him. But for me, my fan base is mostly my friends and family, is a decent amount of people, and they want me to put out more songs and they want me to put out an album. So I'm gonna feed my fans and give them an album.
What is your strategy to get from like to the next stage? Like MRG was saying that he's at that stage now where he has fans all over the place and he's like starting to actually cultivate like a true fan base outside of just people that know him. You know, like how do you...
Honestly, I'm very much in it for the long game. I feel like every piece of every creation I make is gonna be with me forever. And at this point, it's like you never know. Like a song I wrote 3 years ago might be the song that blows up 4 years from now. So I just keep creating. I try not to even really think about how I'm going to build the fan base. I just know that as long as I keep creating different pieces of content, like you have to make a video. Like every song I've ever made, there's a good chance I make a video for every song I ever do, whether that be a one-take performance video or like a stylized, a curated type of like legitimate video, because that's very important and stuff like that. And then you just get on your advertising flow, right? And now we have TikTok where it could be organic, where you don't have to pay for advertising and a bunch of people can still see it. Very important for artists now and building a fan base, which I love, even though I'm not on TikTok as much anymore because my TikTok has been infiltrated by toxic masculinity TikTok.
What do you mean?
Right. It's actually, I haven't been on TikTok.
Is this what you were saying? You talked to Casey?
Yes. Honestly,
wait, should I be scared of this? What does that mean?
So I got a clip of Fresh and Fit podcast talking some stupid ass shit.
That's what MRG was talking to me about.
Talking some stupid ass shit about how men have no problem dating women that make less money than them, but women will never date a man who makes less than them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just decided, I was like, I went in the comments, I was like, I feel like these guys are wrong.
You
like
can't
a lot
comment.
of the time.
No, commenting on TikTok is bad. It fucked you. What happened?
I got the world calling me a simp. Like I obviously get no bitches if I don't know if I don't know this to be a fact. Obviously I get no bitches. And then I'm like, oh, but like, my grandmother was the primary breadwinner in my family, blah blah blah. And they'd be like, she's gonna leave your grandfather soon. And I'm like, come what people like, men. The internet is making some sort of these toxic men creatures. Like,
so they come after your videos though?
No, they didn't come after my videos. They came after me specifically on that TikTok. On my comment.
All right, I thought you were telling me they started like a campaign to take TikTok.
No. So, but ever since that, TikTok, my algorithm got roasted. Like now, all I see is toxic masculinity videos.
Yeah, bro.
All I see is this shit, and I had to get away from it. So
I always say that. Like I get so in my head on any app that I know has an algorithm, like any social app. I'm scared to engage with anything because sometimes it's like, poison. I don't actually want to see this again, but I know I'm going to start fucking getting 100. Yep. You know what? I was telling Casey the other day, I watch, you ever hear of Andy Frisella?
No, I have not.
He's like a super over the top, corny, hyper masculine, motivational guy who just, sells supplements and he's like, get up and fucking work hard and posts like motivational shit with the corny music and trying to get you hyped up.
So you liked one of those videos.
So I watched that ironically, being like, holy shit, this is funny. I saved it on my Instagram saying, I want to make a parody of this, so I want this as reference. But now my Instagram reels is 100 of these things. Yes, it's like, yo, you love this content. I'm like, I don't, fuck off. So I'm like, I don't know, like YouTube, you can dislike things or say, oh, I don't suggest this to me again. I don't think you have that with all of them. I don't want that shit.
I had to run away from TikTok because of this.
Yeah, I feel that. That's crazy. That's funny though. Yeah, but we talk about it all the time on... Because the clips we make, I literally sit there and watch our episodes and I just go, what is going to just like create the most
controversy?
Like discussion in the comments. So a lot of them lends to either it's, and I agree, that's ridiculous that you said that, or it's people fighting either amongst each other in a disagreement or at us. So the ones where they're yelling at us are so funny to me. Like,
what are the topics of your like largest videos?
The one that was our largest wasn't even our best one. It was just, we posed the question, we debated what food has the highest ceiling and the lowest floor. So that one just did well because everyone started thinking pizza. No, it's sushi. No, and so then that just the arguing just made that work. But we had ones like the first one we ever had that did well was me saying Babe Ruth would be terrible if he played today. And I went over the top. Like
I remember that video.
Yeah, like a high school pitcher would strike him out. So then it's just every baseball hardo's like, you're so fucking stupid. Like just going on, just ripping me apart, just the whole comments. And it was pretty hilarious. But
do you actually believe that? Do you actually believe that though? Or you just said it for the controversy? Because, you know, Babe Ruth, one of the greatest.
Everything I say, I always say I believe it, but then it's exaggerated just to have a hot take. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's kind of, I feel like people understand that, but I've realized people don't. You know what I mean? It's like what Skip Bayless and Stephen A do.
Yeah,
they're on their show, like they believe it, but then you got to spice it up for TV. So that's like what I do, but then everyone's like takes everything so literally. It's like, all right, dude. Yep. Like we had one where me and Casey said wrestlers are unathletic. We meant like uncoordinated, but we used the word unathletic. So it's all wrestlers in the comments. Like,
you don't even know,
bro. I'd fucking pin you so fast. Like yeah, it's just everyone.
Like actual wrestling or like WWE.
Actual wrestling.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah. Actual wrestling. Yeah, so everyone got pissed off about that. Yeah, the comments are scary. Everyone's very negative in the comments. But and everyone acts like TikToks for little kids. I feel like I post something and then I'm getting yelled at by adults the whole time.
But with this is going to be my return to TikTok. I feel like, you know, some of these videos we from our conversation.
Yes, that might be, yeah.
And let's do it for the kids. You know, Don Chenz, I'm here to kind of inspire the youth. I feel like I necessarily didn't have direction as a child. That has nothing to do with my parents. It's more so that I just, probably didn't have enough confidence in myself to like really pursue any passions other than playing video games. I did love playing video games as a child. But that's one thing I realized of making music and just creating anything really. It takes so much confidence in yourself, and that only comes from putting in the work, getting positive feedback, which I've been thankful that in my music career, like I've really only gotten positive feedback, and that's really what's kept me going so far. And I don't plan on changing that in any way.
I actually get what you mean with the not having direction in terms of, like you basically were saying, like you don't know what you want. You didn't have interest.
I was that person who didn't know what I was going to do when I was 20, when I had a full-time job. Right?
I say it all the time, like I played sports and then I didn't have any other interests. And obviously, eventually there comes a point where it's like, you're not going to be a professional athlete. But I was like, I don't know what else I like. So I played in college because I played D3 in college. Yeah, football. Because I was like,
oh, really?
I don't want to give it up. I don't know what else I like.
Linebacker?
Nah, I was a lot smaller at the time. I was a
running back,
like running back, slot receiver. Yeah, but and I barely played in college. But
we don't say that. We don't.
Pretend I was a starter.
I was the star.
Yeah. The problem is Casey's here, so he'll come out here and be like, "No, you weren't." He was a lineman. Yeah.
Oh wow, he's an athlete. I didn't know that.
He quit after freshman year. Though
that's a smart thing to do.
I quit in the beginning of senior year. But then when I quit, I was like, I don't know. I don't literally don't know what I like, and I definitely also second the confidence thing. I think I got way more outgoing and confident in myself and all that shit as an adult. I agree. I would literally go as far as to say I had probably the least amount of confidence of like most of people I knew at that time growing up. Yeah, I don't know why though, but I just
You've been working out. Me, I wasn't working out. I didn't really have any like physical fitness kind of mentality in any way. It wasn't until I graduated school and I was pretty out of shape. My girl had broken up with me and I was like, I moved out of state for work, and I was like, let me just get my shit together. I lived in Delaware for 2 years. Yeah. Honestly, shout out to Delaware. I got a lot of people out there, and I fuck with y'all. Shout out my barber, Chase. You're the man. Shout out Manny, Olin, Robbo, Matt Davis, Ali Glickstein. Like, I fuck with y'all heavy, but Delaware made me into the man. Delaware made me into the man I am, but it's fucking boring as shit out there. You cannot get food past 9 p.m.
Bro, that's what I complain about here, dude. Yes. Bro, we were talking before off camera, we were talking about how Hoboken and Jersey City sucks, in my opinion, more so Hoboken in comparison to New York. Bro, that's my number one complaint. If it's like 9:30 and I haven't eaten, I'm in a panic because I'm like, I can't get food anywhere.
It's crazy.
Yes, dude. Oh my God. Yes. That ruins my life. If I can't get food late.
So it was that there's all the bars closed at 1, which low key I love because I really value my sleep. And I don't really like going out that late anyway, but you know, I'll be out. I'll be alright. But yeah, it's boring as shit out there. There's nothing to do. And all I do is work out and start writing songs.
So you think the music and plus working out is what helps your confidence?
I think 100% that is what made me a confident person, really.
See, I was always an athlete, I was always in good shape. I think all my confidence was so much in that.
Mm-hmm. That when it was over.
And it was very, but even when I was playing, like it was so fragile that like my whole self-worth would be based out of if I played well or not. So it would be very fragile. Like if I was striking out in baseball, I'd be miserable. If I was like played a bad football game, it would like ruin my life.
Yeah.
So I was too up and down and everything was just based on like if I was performing well, my confidence was high. If I didn't, it was low. But I feel like that means like you don't have self-confidence. I feel like that's just overall not self-confident.
Yeah. Now what's your confidence rooted in?
I think it just was probably because from doing this, you have like, if you're going to do this, you have to not give a shit about getting judged. You know what I mean? So I think after doing this kind of shit on camera long enough, like me and Casey the other day, we literally had a debate of the most embarrassing moments. And we were telling stories about like, he told we're getting caught jerking off. And
never got caught.
Yeah, really? I actually haven't either. Nice. But like we were just telling stories back and forth about like embarrassing things. And I think my therapist one time was like, oh, you talk about like those kinds of things? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like,
you go to therapy. Maybe that's why.
Maybe. I don't know. But I definitely think it's just the repetition of doing this and just the realization that the only way it'll work is if you stop caring for the most part.
And also really like in order to do something like this or to make music, like you have to really feel like your voice is something that is valuable to the world.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really where...
Even if it's not, you have to think it.
Even if it's not, you have to. You have to feel like that or else it's not going to hit anything.
Right. So what do you think? So like the youth comment you were making, like do you actually think about that when you're making music about inspiring the youth? Is that a genuine motivation?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of times in music, people are like, I'm not here to be role models or leaders and things like that. And that's kind of their brand. But I don't really want that to be my brand. Like I'd like to show kids that honestly anything is possible. Because at least with me, most of the reason why I didn't pursue, I always loved music. I always loved listening to music. I had a karaoke machine in my room growing up, and that's the only time I ever really like fooled around with like a microphone or anything like that. But I just never thought it was possible. Like I was always thinking, okay, I have to get a job, and that's the only way I'm gonna be able to live a life is to get a real big person job. But as I grew older, I was like, it came to reality that this is something that I could do. This is something that anyone could do if you really are passionate about it and you put in the work.
Yeah, I think of it more as like I don't know about you might be different, but for me, the most of people I was surrounded by are very, 9 to 5. They work at Big Bang. So do like all like my parents and my uncles, aunts, uncles, whoever, like everyone is very much in the like that standard kind of lifestyle that to me, I always almost felt, I guess, self-conscious or something like that, but almost like I'd be judged for trying to do something different. So I never considered it as an option until a few years out. I kind of got
and that's a big part of it too. Cause I don't know if you noticed, but like, most famous artists, their parents were artists. Like,
right, yeah.
Or their uncle was an artist, or someone they knew was an artist that really pushed them to let them know that this is possible. And everyone gets that at different ages. Like MRG was the one who let me know it was possible. Really, when he quit his job and he was like, "I'm gonna do this full time."
Right.
And I really started to see him get traction and really like go all in on it. And I was 23 years old at that point.
Yeah, so people definitely get it fostered more at a younger age, and that gives you just a head start.
And that wasn't me. Even though my grandfather is an artist, he doesn't make music. He's a painter.
That's sick.
He has like the artisticness in me comes from him. He's the only artist in my family, really.
So, and we talked about this a little beforehand. You are working full time right now, right?
Yes. I'm not gonna say where.
Yeah, don't say where.
Or who.
That's why I am Don Chenz and not Vincenzo Di Trollio, Vidi Di Trollio in my content. Because I don't want to.
I'm SWEEZY4REAL. I don't even have a real name.
If I apply for another job, I don't want me talking about getting caught jerking off to come up when I'm trying to apply for another job if this doesn't work out.
But what I will say about having a full time job though is that music costs money to make. This podcast costs money to make.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their hustle, like in this world. Like everyone needs to have their hustle in order to make bread and sustain themselves. Because at the end of the day, you can't make, I feel like I couldn't make music until I even had my financial situation figured out, because I just was so stressed about how I'm gonna like sustain a lifestyle, a life on my own, right?
Yeah.
So once I finally figured that out, I was able to, okay, now what do I want to do with my time? Now that I can survive on my own, how am I going to like live a life? And what am I going to do? And then I started making music.
Do you find it hard to balance it though? Like working like do you have like, I think that, if I wasn't working this full-time job and had more time, like this is what I did, I could do so much more. I'd be better at this. I'd learn more. I'd improve my skills more. Do you get that feeling all the time?
Definitely if I didn't have to work, I would have more time to make music. But at the end of the day, I'm blessed to have a work where everyone I work with knows I make music. They push me to make music. They know that low key that my job is my plan B. If I even have a plan B, like it's my job. So they're very supportive. A lot of people in my life are supportive. And like I always look back, I don't even know the producer Zaytoven.
Yes.
Zaytoven was a barber until his mid-30s. He was producing for Gucci Mane every night. Gucci Mane was coming over to his crib, and in the morning Zaytoven would wake up and go cut hair for 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah, until
how long ago? Do you know how long ago? Or
like
no?
It probably was. There came a point where he was in his mid to early 30s where he didn't have to, or like now he was making so much money he didn't have to like be a barber. But even he was struggling where he was like he loved being a barber, like he really enjoyed it. And like that's kind of where I'm at. Like everyone has their hustle. Some people sell drugs. Some artists do other illicit things to make money. Some people have OnlyFans. Like everyone needs bread. I'm in a situation where my full-time job is not too mentally taxing, where I can kind of compartmentalize, these 8 hours a day is gonna result in me being able to do all these things. And all these things is paying for beats, paying for equipment, paying for advertising, paying for clothes that I wear in the videos and stuff like that.
So how do you know when it's time to quit and pursue it full time? Is it just
when someone offers me a big bag?
So it's just financial.
If someone offered me $200,000, no strings attached right now,
like a label, you're saying?
Yeah. The label, $200,000, no strings attached, but I didn't have to pay it back though. So that's the thing about labels. I really want
if it's like a recouped thing.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. If someone was like, take this $200,000, you don't have to pay me back, but
who's going to do that?
Someone will do that. There are people. There are people out there. If you're watching,
if you're an investor,
if anyone has $200,000 they want to use,
invest in SWEEZY4REAL.
That ass.
So all right. So let's say you're at a point a year from now, you got 150,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. You're popping on social media, not like popping, but you're starting to, you're getting some traction and everything's starting to go well, but you're not making a significant amount of money yet to support you full time. You're still not going to quit.
I probably still wouldn't quit because at the end of the day, a lot of artists don't make the amount of money I make for my day job and they have to do other stuff anyway. So until the books really balance themselves, I can't really see myself stopping working, especially because I like what I do.
Do you?
But I like what I do. COVID is terrible, but it changed the world into this whole hybrid working situation where now conceivably I could go on a tour and still do my day job.
Right.
And it not be an issue. And like I said, everyone in my job understands what I'm doing.
That is true actually, because you're gonna perform at night. So you could work a 9 to 5 and
it's
go
not
perform.
It's not like I don't sometimes go out at night until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and then work at 8 a.m. the next day anyway. Yeah. So it's like
you just need Wi-Fi on your RV or whatever the fuck you're traveling on and you're good. That's true actually. I never thought about that.
So
but that is true.
I see myself in the next 3 years doing a tour where it's like I'm situating, I'm able to work and then go perform at night.
You don't think that is going to hold you back though eventually? See, that's what I would think though. I would just think eventually there comes a point where you have to say, like, the only way to get that exponential growth is I got to commit to it full time, even if it's going to fuck me over financially.
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see when I get that feeling. I'm going off vibes.
Yeah, that's true.
Right now I feel good vibes working and making music. They're complementing each other and I gotta build the foundation of my career of making these songs, and these songs cost money. These songs cost a lot of money. The videos cost a lot of money. And also I want to be able to pay people like good. I want to be able to pay the people I work with well so that their careers prosper, you know?
Right. I feel that too with whenever I I've asked videographers and different people for help, and I always try to be not going to pay them like way more than go crazy, but like I've had friends help me. One guy in particular who would be like too embarrassed to ask for what he's really worth. So I'd be like, all right, well, how much do you want? And he'd give me a number. I'd be like, bro, that's too low. Like, I'll give him more.
And you're a good friend for that.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just bad business. You know who actually brought that up to me too is Most Wanted. One time when I was with him.
Pay people?
He just said it's and he's right. He's like, you're doing business. Like you just get the business right first, and then we're good after that.
And Most Wanted, I give most of my money to most of my money goes to him.
Yeah, he's your engineer.
He's the engineer. Yeah. He touches every song I ever put out. There's a good chance he's the one who's gonna touch it first and last.
He's got a platinum plaque, doesn't he?
He got a platinum plaque. He's about to have more.
Is he really?
I mean, I'm about to have many platinum plaques.
Oh, for yours. That's
so
true.
is MRG.
For that, yes. Yes, I agree with that. But it's true. Like, you want to be able to, because then I feel like that catches up with you. It's just like bad karma, kind of in a way.
Yeah.
If you're not paying people, you're trying to be shady, you're trying to fuck people over your own advantage. It will help you, but I feel like I do believe that comes back around.
I think so. I know, like I said, we're in this age of we're also an age where 30 is the new 20. Like.
Yeah.
We don't have kids, thank God. If I had kids, then maybe I'd have to make a decision of what am I doing with my full-time job, because I wouldn't have even time to make music if I had children. But
right,
I don't. Thank God. But it's crazy to think about because my mom, at my age right now, I was already 7 in terms of my mom.
Yeah, it is crazy to think about just how, but that's just society as fuck, dude. People want to act like that's like we change. I was bitching about this.
You think this is a bad thing that we're not having kids?
I think it's all stems from the fact that I think our generation is getting fucked by our parents' generations.
I mean,
overall, like everything.
There's a lot of hoarding of.
Bro, everything. Yes, hoarding of real estate.
Can't even get a crib. Like we literally won't be able to buy a crib.
You can't get a house. Shit is everything's so expensive. College doesn't give you a leg up really anymore. That's like equivalent to when our parents
probably should go to trade school. I've been
right.
thinking about this. I'm probably gonna tell my kids to go to trade school instead.
Yes. Yeah. Like people go to college, you're getting all that debt, and then it doesn't really give you a leg up. Like your starting salary, it doesn't even pay for a full year's tuition for a lot of kids.
Nope.
It's crazy.
And they say it's college really for the network. And not that I say I didn't meet a lot of good friends in college. Because
Where'd you go?
I went to Villanova also.
Oh, you went to Villanova too? Okay.
Yep. And Villanova was great though. Villanova was probably worth every penny, I would say, because if you go to Villanova Business School, you're probably going to get a decent job. And the basketball team is cool. And you can meet some really cool people out there.
I will say I definitely agree with that for a bigger school. Like I went to a small school, and I can definitely say from my experience, I feel like the networking aspect is harder. I feel like.
Did you go to the school to play football?
Yeah, and that was the main thing I did not like was playing football. So everything else I liked, but going to a private school, obviously shit's more expensive, but it's more so a like the networking thing. It seems like there's less school spirit when you go to a smaller school. Like probably just because of the sports. I feel like all the school spirit stems from the sports. So if Villanova ever gets hyped for the basketball, and it probably kind of.
I'll be honest. I applied to 13 schools, and I only got into 2 of them. One was Villanova, and one was someplace where my mom went, was Union College in upstate New York.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And
I know people went there actually.
I had never visited Villanova. I was just like, they have
D1
D1 basketball. I was like, they have
yeah.
D1 basketball. I think I gotta go. Never visited, and I was like, all right, I'm committed to go here. And then, I don't know if MRG told you, but I convinced MRG to come to Villanova. He was gonna go play baseball at Skidmore.
Really? I thought he gave it up well before that.
Nah, his senior year. He was his best of high school. Was his best year. He batted like 450. He was just killing.
He told me he batted 500.
He was killing.
I thought that was cap.
Nah, he was killing his senior year.
Okay, so
and
that's good that
he got an offer to
that.
go play at D3, and then he was gonna work. And then he was like, but then I was like, yeah, if anything, you could walk on the Villanova baseball team. And we got to Villanova, and we realized that's too much work.
Yeah. No, I also can say from playing Division III football, I don't like if I had a kid who was an athlete, like my strategy when I was trying to use it for college was to try and get to a better academic, and an academic school I wouldn't have been able to get to grades alone. So
that's a good
which
strategy.
Makes sense. Like an Ivy League or like a Patriot League, like a Lehigh or a Bucknell, like those are the kind of schools I was trying for, like UPenn and shit too. So if that worked out, then it makes sense. But if you're not going to go to a big time D1 or get you into a good academic institution, I kind of feel like it isn't worth it.
Some people, but unless it's for the love of the game. Shout out to
I
the
guess.
love of the game. I have a friend who played sprint football.
It's like you got to be under a certain weight, right?
Yeah, and there's a situation where every year the alumni come back and they pad up and they play the team.
That's sick.
I love the game.
That is love of the game. Legit. You know UPenn's tradition they do at games?
No.
So I was getting recruited by UPenn for a little bit. What would always happen for me is everyone would just say I'm too small eventually and they tell me to fuck off.
What? Are you kidding me?
But I had an official visit to UPenn. So I'm there for a game, sitting there just like whatever. All of a sudden, everyone just starts frisbeeing toast onto the field.
Toast?
Like bread.
Like toasted bread or just plain bread?
I couldn't tell at the time, found out later it was toasted bread. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Everyone, onto the field. And they just cleaned it up and they're acting like it was cool. So
that's
apparently,
not cool. That's not cool, UPenn.
The tradition stemmed from
getting bread.
During Prohibition, they couldn't toast with drinks anymore, so they were like, "Oh, let's toast with toast."
Wow, that is so corny.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if they do it every
corn.
game, but they did it the game I went to. You could find videos of it on YouTube, but I was so confused.
That's a waste of bread.
Yes,
I'll tell you that.
yeah. There's people who could eat that bread, unless it's bad, but still.
Blue.
Okay, so I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. A lot of your music, both your solo music and Star 6-7 music, it's all about love. You literally have a song called "A Song About Love."
Love is the most powerful force in the world. Like love really pushes all of us to do things. Like if I'm being honest, what pushed me to get fit and get confidence in the first place was women. Like it was my love for women.
Most things are probably motivated subconsciously or consciously by women for men.
And we love that. I honestly love that. They push me to new heights.
Yeah.
And here we are. Looking good, feeling good, like doing it for the women.
But isn't love more than that? Isn't it deeper than just looks?
Of course it is. But you have to develop. Like it's all part of like development and just kind of making yourself someone who is not. I'm not gonna say valuable, but someone who is just interesting, right? Like you love people who are interesting and people who have passion and things like. At the end of the day, love is really about like passion. Like I really do love sitting in my basement making music and making songs, it wasn't my choice. I didn't want to make love songs. I didn't want every song to be about love, and not every song is about love. Some of my songs are ignorant, whatever. Yeah. But most
of them are about love.
Most of my songs are about love, and even my family would be like, "Sean, like, Sweez, you have to stop making this bubblegum pop." Like my stepfather hates love songs. He's like, every time I send him a love song, he's like, "Please."
What, you want hype shit?
He wants hardcore. My family wants some hardcore, like
rap, or
they want rap and they want screamo. They want
screamo.
Yeah,
you a screamo guy?
I got some in the vault.
I actually got some intel that you're a Kiss fan.
My first concert ever was Kiss and Aerosmith at Jones Beach.
I love Aerosmith's actually one of mine. That's strictly because my dad had an Aerosmith CD he would play when I was a kid,
and that's really what it comes down to. Is like, the influence from your parents. So like that was my first concert. So Kiss and the Beatles are like my two favorite bands, and they're both, not a lot of people would say, oh, the Kiss and the Beatles are alike, but they actually are alike. And the Beatles have a lot of 2-minute songs, and Kiss and the Beatles are all about sing-alongs. Like the cadence of the songs lend to the audience singing them right back to you. And that's like my dream is it shouldn't even really matter how I sound on stage because everyone's going to be singing the songs back to me anyway.
That is true. People do like being able to sing the songs back.
So with me, I actually, when I record and I write something, I'll intentionally try to sing it badly, not in recording, but it's just like to myself, as if I'm someone listening to the song, singing along with the song.
Interesting. That makes sense though, because that is what people want. Like I do that all the time. I sing very well. I could do it myself.
Do you want to get on a track?
Should we just do that right now?
I mean,
I shouldn't say it on mic, but
you have a rap.
I am looking to do a video series where one of the videos would be me making a rap song.
You can come to my studio,
and
my basement.
I actually brought it up to MRG after the end of our interview, and he was like, "Oh, to ask Sweez, he'd be down to do it."
100%. I'll make a song with anybody. MRG is also like, he's very much like, oh, like, I'm not gonna do features with a lot of people. Like, I don't really appreciate a lot of other artists, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'll probably make a song with anyone, especially if they pay me.
I don't even need to be an official like on streaming. I mean, that'd be sick. But I just I mean, I'm down for it too. But I just want to try it. Like, I just feel like it'd be fun.
It's gonna be fire.
It could be fire. It could be trash.
You want to be a rapper or you want to sing?
I could do either one. I feel like rapping, I feel like I listen to more rap than anything, so it probably would come a little more naturally to
like
me.
some boom bap type of.
Yeah, some boom bap. I was telling you, I'm wearing it right now, that I listen to mostly like Griselda and Buffalo rap type of shit now, and he was just like, yo, I don't fuck with that shit.
Who, MRG doesn't?
Yeah, it does not.
You know, he's more into the melodies as well.
Yeah,
and then me too. I'm into the singing stuff, really.
Yeah.
But I really do appreciate rap though. It's very difficult, and it just to have that like that once again, we'll go back to the confidence just to say some of this shit. And
that's true.
I appreciate it.
You guys, your music together and his is very melodic, more like R&B, little rap. You got both, and then your solo shit's a lot more rock. Though.
Yes, yeah, and you know, I feel like we are really living in the golden age of a songwriting, of what it means to be a songwriter. Because back in the day, like if I wanted to make a rock song, I had to find a whole band. I had to find people with playing all these instruments to go and let's figure out this song together. But now I go online and I find this whole like just expansive like band. Like I basically just go to different band. I can just get a different band and just write songs on top of it. And that's really how I've been rolling. Just writing on top of these like things where everyone's like, oh, like, did you play this music yourself? Like, no, I literally found this beat online.
So is that the direction you want to go, is more rock, or are you kind of trying to touch everything?
I'm trying to touch everything. I'm definitely trying to touch everything, but I lean mostly towards the rock, especially because of the way my voice sounds on records. It sounds best and cleanest when I'm like really pushing my voice. So all of my rock stuff has been like the favorite stuff that I listen to.
I have an interesting question. What do you think about MGK making rock music?
I like MGK when he was a rapper at first. Like, I like Wild Boy. I think MGK has a lot of credibility, honestly, as an artist, and he's impressive and he can play guitar. I actually saw MGK live at Rolling Loud, and it was a couple years ago, and it was a great show. Like, he climbed on top of some crazy ass shit. Like, he was ripping the guitar.
Rock shit, you're saying?
He was rock. Yeah, it was rock shit. This is before he even really went all in the emo girl. I don't like that song Emo Girl though. I'll be honest with Willow Smith. I love Willow Smith.
Dude, Willow Smith is, I think she's gonna be huge.
I think that she's one of the best voices and just some of the best songs I've ever heard.
I went to one of the times I saw Tyler the Creator, Jaden Smith open for him. At MSG, and he brought Willow out, and bro, Willow's voice live was fucking amazing.
Yeah, she's the
like
future.
Mind-blowingly
and she
good.
She touches every genre.
She's sick.
So, like I was saying, I saw MGK live, and I appreciate MGK. A lot of people don't. A lot of people. Some of the most comments I've gotten on when we run ads on our videos are like, "Oh, MGK wishes he could do this." 'Cause I guess we maybe sound a little more authentic than him, just because everyone knows he was a rapper before, and I don't know. People say he pivoted because his rap shit wasn't working, but I feel like everything's working for him. Like,
I think it was working fine. I think he just
Wild Boy is a great song.
I think he just got with Travis Barker, who's apparently the only good drummer who's alive.
He's the only drummer alive.
He's the drummer for every fucking rock song ever.
No other song I like from MGK? The Land Till I Die. You know Till I Die.
He's from Cleveland. Is that the Land?
Yeah.
I liked him when he was a rapper. I thought he was corny at times, but I liked the first rock album. The second one, I did not fuck with very much. But yeah, I found it interesting because I remember like I'd see like different YouTube videos and shit of people kind of complaining like, why can't, like, he could pivot because he's white, but like Lil Wayne tried to pivot.
Hey, Prom Queen is a great song. Lil Wayne pivoted successfully. Like,
yeah, I was like, I don't think anyone was anti. Like, oh, Lil Wayne can't do this, he's black. I feel like everyone was fine with Lil Wayne doing that. It just either they didn't like the sound or it didn't work. I don't think people would have been against Lil Wayne making rock music.
Yeah, I love Prom Queen, but I will say I didn't really. Was that album like Rebirth or something like that? Revolver?
No, Rebirth. I think it's Rebirth is Eminem. I think
Eminem. We can't talk about Eminem though. Yeah. Eminem, one of my biggest influences at first when he used to be funny.
Trash now.
He's so angry.
So bad, dude.
Why is he so angry,
bro? It's not even, bro. It's not even that he's angry. It's like. I just don't get why people don't tell him to just slow the fuck down.
Or like be funny again. Like,
yes.
my band is
amazing.
Top 5 of one of my favorite songs.
I was singing Ass Like That the other day for no reason, but that song's fire.
Yes. But like, come on, Eminem, lighten up a little bit, sir.
Yes. Dude, and it's Bro, the best example, and I'm actually wearing a shirt, so it works out. Because Conway, like those guys are signed to Shady. So the Griselda, they did a full song, like the three of them did a song with 50 Cent. And 50 Cent, who, I mean, he's like New York, but he's not the same he's not exactly the same kind of sound. He went into the song to try and get into like their world. Like this is the Griselda sound. I'm going to do the Griselda sound. And he was amazing. Eminem did a song with Conway. Conway's rapping like he normally raps, which is slow and the fucking opposite of Eminem. The beat is slow as fuck. And Eminem just comes out at the end and just raps really fucking fast. Like, bro, like, you don't need to do it. Like, you're
talking about some super aggressive.
You don't need to be like, you don't need to do that. You just fuck the whole song. Like, just chill out.
And that's not to say I don't have super respect for Eminem.
He was my favorite.
I actually love Eminem.
Eminem and 50 Cent. The Eminem Show and Get Rich or Die Trying were the first two rap albums I ever listened to. That's why I like rap.
The top 5 albums potentially of all time.
I agree with that. And yeah, like I just don't get why no one's. It's because like I hate middle America white people to listen to him, and he still does numbers, so it doesn't matter.
Is he still doing numbers? Okay.
Yes, dude. That's what's crazy. It's like if you, I had this.
Oh, him and MGK had that beef too.
Yes, yeah. That's funny.
Kill Shot. It was called Kill Shot.
Yeah, but I argue about this with my boy all the time because he was saying like, bro, there's no way Eminem does numbers. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, look it up. He still is like doing the best numbers, and he does. But it's those people. So we got to figure out who they are and be like, yo, stop liking this. Because if you stop liking it, he'll go back to.
But he also like. I also feel like once you get the machine like behind you in that way, like once you become that big, like it's really hard to flop. Like I feel like it's basically impossible for Eminem to really flop. Like he already has more fans than every other artist.
I feel like people can flop. I think big artists can flop.
Who really has fallen off? That
I feel like people thought Kendrick flopped.
Oh, who thought that?
I think people just because he's so, and I actually don't even mean that as a diss, but I think people, their expectations are so high that like he's going to exceed every album. I thought his last album was good, but I don't think it exceeded his last few. And I think people were disappointed by it and probably view it as a flop. So it's not like really a flop.
I think that it definitely sold really well and it is not what people expected, which ends up being like the best thing about it, right? Because it's like, it ends up being different. Like, and that's what everyone just wants, something to be different. Like he was spitting. It was a long drawn out album. It was very different, and he didn't have any hits on it. Except for I feel like there's one hit. I'll be honest. Now that I think about it, I haven't really ran it back like that.
Yeah, I ran it back a couple times. I always try to give everything 2 listens because sometimes I even like some of my favorite albums. I won't like the first listen. Listen to it the second time, and I like it more. So I usually give things 2. And yeah, I thought it was good. But I didn't.
It's also just interesting to think about how like music has changed, like listening tendencies have changed. Like I mean, you were telling me that you mostly listen to albums, but like for me, I'm mostly listening. If it's not my own music or my friend's music, I listen to singles. I listen to whatever is gonna be like the most popping thing that week. I try and listen to all the newest stuff.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
And I don't really run back a lot of old music anymore. I do have one playlist. My listening tendencies now is I have one playlist with 67 songs on it. Most of them are my songs. And I just keep that number at 67. And every time I really, really like a song, I have to delete one. Yeah.
I get it. Star 67.
Yeah.
I got you. I was like, why 67? I was like, Yeah. No, I usually give things 2 listens, but you also said you listen to your friends' music. I'm a big like people like we're friends. You drop music, I spin that all the time. But also I feel like I don't know if it's just how it works out by chance, luck. I don't know, but I feel like most of my friends I know that make music, I don't just do it just to. I want to be supportive, but I do like it. Like I genuinely enjoy people's music.
Yeah.
But I find it odd that I feel like I'm in the minority of people that go out of their way to be supportive of people's either their creative endeavors, maybe their business or something like that.
Because most people are haters.
You think it's haters?
I think it's haters. I think it's jealousy. I think it's a lot of like at the end of the day, people are just pessimistic. Like a lot of people are pessimistic. They don't think that someone's going to be able to kind of transcend whatever they're currently doing and get to that next level, when in reality, like just your passion behind someone else's music is what's going to get them to that next level.
Yeah.
Like people don't really understand the power in telling someone that they're doing a good job.
That's true.
They're doing a good job with what they're doing. Like keep it up like that. And I've been blessed where whenever I make music, like since I started making music, like a lot of my good friends and people I don't know have discovered me have went out of their way to tell me that. And that is really what has kept me going and what kept me what kind of made me committed to this from the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's important to do that, especially if they're good. Like, if I understand, it's one thing if you genuinely, like, you really give something a try and you're like, this is actually trash. That I get.
And that happens too.
That happens. But like, if you listen to someone's music or someone's business, you think their products or whatever they do is cool, or someone has a podcast, you think their podcast clips are sick or something like that. If you actually think it's good, I feel like it's like really, it's pretty fucked up to not be supportive in some way. Yeah. You don't have to go crazy posting about it all the time, but doing something, either what you said, giving them a compliment or sharing it with someone, literally even as minimum as just like liking the thing. Like, there's some things that are so
you would think that
effort.
repost. You would think that a repost is easy, like, but it's not that easy to get people reposted.
Right. It's like it's a couple thumb taps and people don't do it, and you're kind of like, bro, like, is it that bad? Like, it's not. It's good, but people still don't do it. So you think it's hater shit.
Yeah, I think for the most part it's haters, and also people don't want to like be promo vehicles. I feel like a lot of times as an individual who's not an artist, you don't necessarily want to flood your friends and family with promotion.
Yeah, that's true.
Which you should, though. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. And honestly, your friends and family need something to do. They want to see what you're interested in.
If it's someone you support too, I think. But I get that, but I just don't think that way.
Because you're a promo vehicle.
I guess I am.
Right?
But I kind of like I kind of think it's lame where people want to be like, oh, this is cool, this is popular. Oh, I like that too. Yeah. I like being I like liking shit that no one else likes, to be like, yo, this, and then say I told you so when everyone else likes it. That's cool.
It is the worst. The worst thing is when someone will go out of their way to post like the newest like huge artist record, but they won't post your record, and you know that they like your record though, and you know they like your music.
That's true. Yeah, like that's a good point. Where if someone doesn't post anything because, to use your words, they don't want to be a promo vehicle, and they just never post anything like that, it's kind of like, I don't think that way, but I get it. But if you're posting like MGK's new fucking song, and then that would piss me off even more.
And people do that too. People will post like random ass celebrity doing absolutely nothing and not repost or like your own post.
So do you like getting compliments? Like, the compliments help you? I'm not good at taking compliments. I've noticed that about myself.
I've been thinking more recently about what my love language is. And I think that words of affirmation is like what
people
makes
tell you
me
you're doing a good job, you're a good boy.
What makes me feel the most loved, for sure. It's very powerful for me in terms of like motivation, and I try and go out of my way and tell people that they're doing a good job as well.
I like doing that for other people, but I for some reason feel uncomfortable when people like give me a direct compliment. Like, sometimes people will tell me they like something about what I'm doing, like some video or just like,
you just gotta give them a hug.
Podcast in general.
Say thank you. Give them a hug.
I'll be like, thank you, but I always want it to stop there. Once it keeps going, I start feeling uncomfortable.
And then they start giving you feedback. They're like, but you should really do that.
But I also, yes, that too gets uncomfortable. but I want the admiration, but then I get uncomfortable. I don't get why I get that way. And I also actually get more motivated, I think, from people hating on me than people liking it.
Oh, really?
For some reason that gets me excited. That gets me, I feel like we were talking about the TikTok hate. I enjoy that more than people being like, this is sick. Like, people being like, fuck that guy. That I love that. I think about that. I want more people to like kind of root against me in a way.
So is that your goal? Are your goal to be most hated?
No, I don't want to be most hated. I kind of think, it's good in general if people have an opinion on you either way. I feel like music, it's hard. Music, you don't want people to hate. Like, you don't want to be polarizing necessarily with the quality of your music. As a personality, maybe you can find a way to be polarizing with your persona, but then the music everyone enjoys. So that's a little different with that. But I feel like you don't want people to be indifferent, you know? So I don't necessarily have I guess it depends what I'm getting hated on for, probably. I'm sure something different. Like, if it's just my opinion on something like that, I don't give a shit. If it's someone I know who I know is like, oh, they're talking shit about you, that would be motivating to me. I'm sure there's a scenario where someone would hate on me and it would really get under my skin.
Yeah, if it cut really deep.
Yeah, it would have to. I have to think of something that it would be. But
so, what do you think is your inevitable goal, like with this show? Like 20 years down the road, you want to still be doing this? Still be finding new artists?
I don't know. I kind of
talk to politicians.
Not
I kind of want to be president.
That'd be sick.
I'm trying to be a lawyer after I blow up.
Yeah. Like,
Yep.
yeah, get huge and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a lawyer now.
How sick would it be?
I'm out.
Let's about think about law school though. Yeah, really, I don't know anything about law school, but I feel like people are going really hard for like this outcome of like getting a big law job or something like that. I really just want to know the law. Like I just want to be able to
be knowledgeable,
and work within the law. And at the end of the day, if you really want to make a change in this world, and like obviously there are a lot of things that need to be changed, you kind of have to know exactly how to do it through the law.
That's an interesting perspective if you're talking politics. Or I guess it doesn't have to necessarily be being in politics, but making change usually requires some type of law and
exactly
change like that.
And, but I mean, they're a politician now. All of a sudden, you can be a politician and not be a lawyer. But it always seemed like that was like a prerequisite. That should just be a prerequisite. Like you're literally changing the law.
You know what? That's true. That's actually
how
true.
do you not know what's on the books already?
They're voting on what the laws are, and if you don't know what the laws are, it's kind of silly. Yeah, that's a fair point.
But now we're getting to a world where you can just be a celebrity. Where like celebrities are about to just run politics.
Yeah, it's coming. I definitely think it's the generation below us
that are gonna save us.
No, that are gonna make like YouTubers politicians.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen,
it's gonna be like Logan Paul's
you
gonna
can go
be
to YouTube
president.
law school. Even there's probably a YouTube channel out there that's just like everything in law school that you could possibly learn.
If we're gonna have Logan Paul versus Steve Will Do It.
Who'd you vote for there?
I think Logan Paul.
Wow.
But Steve Will Do It. That guy's a lunatic.
I don't know anything about either of these people really.
Although
Steve Will Do It is the one who
he's the Nelk Boys guy.
Who was with 6ix9ine, right? They were boys.
Yeah, they're boys. They were boys 6ix9ine at least. Yeah. But that would be funny. Steve Will Do It's president, and he's just like, you know, he's having a deep discussion with the leader of North Korea, and they're like, "Watch out, Steve will do it. Don't make Steve do it."
I'm waiting for a singer. I'm trying to be. That's why I'm trying to be the first singer politician.
That'd be sick. Give the State of the Union addresses through song,
or I just sing the national anthem at my own at my own inauguration. Like,
that would be fire. That would be cool. No one. It's never been done before.
Speaking into existence, right?
That would be your campaign. Like that's what you run on. Like I will.
Every
sing.
one of my speeches is just a concert. It's just, I just go MSG.
I will bring
Staples
a guitar
Center.
to everything I do.
You know, I do want to learn how to play instruments, though. I think that's the.
You don't
next
play any
level.
instruments.
I don't play any instruments. I'm just about words.
Do you feel like that holds you back in some way?
I think that it would be nice. It would be nice.
You made the point that you have all the tools at your disposal, like through software and shit, and people's beat
and
packs.
I do like finding beat packs and writing songs to that. And really, when I like I said, I never thought this was possible. But now looking back in my life, I always was a writer. Like when I got into my high school, I told the teacher I was writing a book because I was writing a science fiction novel in 4th grade.
Really?
I didn't. I didn't.
You never finished?
I never finished it. Nah, it was actually just kind of a play on Jack and Daxter 2. Like it was really
just plagiarized like I did for the rest of school.
Nah, we don't talk about that. But those who know, no.
I cheated all through college. I've openly said that on the show. Through college. Freshman year, I tried my hardest, and then I was like, wait, I should just be cheating. Why the fuck don't I keep cheating?
I think that college is a weird situation because the teachers are using the same material year after year. Like,
yeah, you could, if you Google search things, you could find the questions online.
The
with
books
the
are the same.
Yeah,
the tests are.
Or they change just like the names.
They change the order of the questions. It'll be like the exact same questions from the year before. So that's something where it's like, where that whole frat life really comes into being a benefit because like the older kids, like having older friends, they're just gonna.
You were in a frat in Villanova?
I was in a frat.
So we were frat bros too. Yeah, me and Casey are brothers.
You got it. It's a community, and it's like you find a group of like-minded dudes that. And I never like thought I was gonna like be that, but I ended up when I got to college, my randomly assigned roommate who has the same name as me, which is another reason why I became Sweeze full time. Was because we literally had the same name.
Yes, that makes sense.
So he ended up being like the most solid dude, like one of the best men I ever met in my life. And his brother was a vice president of a frat at the time. And I just kind of fell right in there and we ended up building that whole thing together. I was actually the recruitment chair in my frat.
Damn.
So I was bringing in the boys.
You were,
and we were throwing down.
The cheating thing, Casey and I at Gettysburg, their rule, the code of conduct rule, which we've talked about before on the show, on the other show, is the professors had to leave the room.
So you could cheat?
Basically, yeah. like the argument was like, so you had to self-police each other, but it was just like, we're all cheating, right?
But here's another thing that the pandemic did. Now, from what I heard and what I've seen with school, everything is open book.
As it should be. That's what the real world is.
No,
you never close book anything.
Right?
In the
You don't
real
have to
world.
really know anything. You just figure it out on the spot.
You just YouTube it. Yeah. Like, how do I figure out how to do this shit?
So from what I heard right now from
YouTube
my cousin's 13, they don't get no homework.
What?
They don't get no more homework. Everything is like classwork. And when you get home, they get to like follow their passion. So like he just balls. He started making
just
beats.
balls.
He hoops and he started making beats. I'm like, you're living the life right now.
Like, that's sick. Fuck.
And then
You're born at the wrong
I was
time.
stressing. Everyone telling my parents I'm not going to amount to anything because I'm not going home and like putting in 8 hours of homework every night and stuff like that. It was such BS.
Yeah, dude, that's so crazy. Yeah, homework is kind of crazy. Like, I'm going to school for half the day. Fuck off the rest of the day.
Don't do more after
Yeah.
this? Like
study. If I got to study for something, fine.
and the
But,
real
like,
world's not
homework-
even like that. The real world's not like that.
You go
really-
to work, you clock out.
Exactly.
And you fuck off. Yeah, exactly.
So really, they should be teaching children, at least now that it looks like they are, work-life balance, things like that. We were really just getting pushed to like do what? What were we really even learning? Like
I don't use anything.
We didn't learn to code. We didn't learn anything about. I didn't learn anything about science.
I didn't learn any like financial
Didn't
shit,
learn anything
like,
about
like
personal finance for
stuff.
sure.
Yeah, nothing.
I do like reading books. That's something that I think I carried on from my like elementary school days is like the joy of reading books. But even when I was in school, I didn't read the books that they told me to read. I just now I can find books that I like enjoy. I actually ended up reading a lot of like self-help books in Delaware. That's because I needed help. I need to figure
Myself needed help.
I needed to figure out like how I was
self-help.
gonna do this thing called life here. So shout out to books. I'm gonna say that right now. Like I said, for the youth, go read some books.
Read books. Yeah, I like.
You read books?
I like physical books. I'm a big. I want a lot of books on the bookshelf so I look smart, and but probably 60% of them have been read.
What was the last time you read? What was the last book you read?
The last one I read, I tried reading. I was trying to read Taoism stuff. Actually, that was the last thing.
Taoism.
It's actually supposed to say with a D. Taoism.
Taoism.
It's spelled with a T. You're
I didn't
supposed
know
to
that.
spell with a D. So I read, actually, the last book I read, I tried reading some psychology books from Carl Jung that were too difficult, and I gave up.
His books are so hard.
So
to read,
tough.
bro.
So like I like tried. It's easier to just watch the YouTube videos where they give you the For Dummies version because the books are confusing.
crazy.
I've gotten through some like psychology books that are a little
Yeah.
tough and been able to digest it, but the Carl Jung shit was too much. I tried reading Taoism stuff like the actual Tao Te Ching, but that was tough because it was hard to interpret it. So I read. It's called the Tao of Pooh. So it's basically trying to teach you Taoism through Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
It was easy to read, got through it quick, and it was a good book.
Are you a Taoist?
No, I like the philosophies. I feel like I need that in my life. It's very like just because I find that myself, I'm always resisting everything. I'm like defensive to stuff. I'm negative about things, trying to find why something won't work and all this shit. So I feel like I need like
Is that your natural? That's your natural instinct.
that's my natural, like I'm naturally like negative towards things and almost like mad that things aren't going my way. Whereas like Taoism, it's kind of, I'm going to butcher probably how I'm explaining it, but like there was about the way and kind of just going with almost like Jet Li being like, just be like water. It's like that kind of
So
thing.
you
Just
plan on going to like, because that's one of my dreams also is to go to like some sort of a temple and like
a Buddhist temple.
just
that'd be
kind of
sick.
just like really
just
figure
meditate.
that out.
Yeah.
Even though meditating is very hard for me and I try, but I'm moving too quick.
I used to be able to, like I used to try really hard to meditate and I was able to. And I've noticed recently I haven't been able to. And I think it's because I'm too stimulated by my phone.
By your phone?
I think I'm like, I can barely sit in my thoughts anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be able to just chill and sit in my thoughts. I need to be watching a video or on Twitter or on Instagram. Somehow TikTok hasn't gotten me. I only post TikTok. I don't watch it.
Oh, really?
But
Stay away
like-
from toxic masculinity. TikTok. I'll tell you that.
But like I'm always just watching shit on my phone and can't just sit in my thoughts anymore, whereas I used to all the time. That's a recent issue I've been having.
So have you been actively like limiting your phone time?
No, my screen time is egregiously
My screen time
long.
is crazy too.
What do you at? Do you know what it's at?
Bro, I've had days at 13 hours.
Yes, that's what mine are at. Mine are like 10, 11. Like yeah.
And it's like I'm not really doing like I didn't really accomplish anything in that time. Even though Twitter is really great.
Twitter's the best.
Twitter is by far the best social media platform.
It can be the worst or it can be the best. It's based on how you cater it to yourself. Like you create your own ecosystem of what you want to see.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of just staying out of replies and getting in arguments.
No, you gotta reply and get in arguments.
You
That's
get
the
arguments?
best part.
No, it's the worst.
Back, I've been in a lot of political arguments and on Twitter.
Really? Dude, that's
there's
the
a lot of
worst.
conspiracy theorists arguing against me. But like, I feel like, here's my thing. And why I feel like it's very important for people to go and like actually argue. Because if you don't argue with someone on Twitter, a kid is going to see that and take this bullshit that someone else is saying. And because there's no rebuttals to that, like the kid really might think like their whole life might be geared around like
I
this
guess.
one
I just
thing.
feel like, I mean, you got to think about your own mental health, dude. You're arguing with someone who's there's never going to listen or cave. It just, the arguments are never substantive. They're just hateful and angry.
I've gotten to a lot of arguments enough where they move to the DMs and, you know, we find common ground. I found common ground with people I never thought I'd be able to find common
Really?
ground with. Yeah, in my DM.
You've taken Twitter fights that far that they went into the DMs
Very
and then
far.
got settled and you're like, that was a nice battle.
Yes, very far. Yeah.
Handshake and move on. Damn.
From
I've
2016. And I know I
I've
was
never
not
done that.
political in any way. I couldn't even give a shit about politics until 2016. And then like I just felt it was my duty to like really fight with people because people were like people were trying
It was
to really
my duty to fight with people.
People were poisoning
That's
the
crazy.
internet. People were
Dude,
poisoning the
that's
internet
so
with
funny.
lies.
That's such a funny way to say it, though. It was my dude. I remember what you said. Like
People,
fight.
you know, people would tell me, Sean, why are you spending so much time? I would stay up late at night.
That's distracting you, bro.
It's not distracting.
It is.
It got. Now I know that like the world is actually like this. Now I know that you have to like communication is so important, and that one-on-one conversation that you have with someone could like have ripple effect through like so many different avenues.
I just don't think that's a platform to do it. You got to get a podcast and you could just rant. And
That's why I'm here.
It's sick. No one can argue with
I'm
you.
trying to be a regular.
I can lie.
I'm trying to be Chen's best friend.
If that's true. We might be after this. If I lie right now, I could tell a lie. The sky is green. I could put it out. If I just don't look at the replies, I just said the sky's green with no pushback. I could say whatever I want.
And someone might see, wait, the
That's
sky
and that's
is green.
that's how you get Alex
Wait,
Jones.
so- exactly. The sky is green.
Wait, he is on to
Chemtrails.
something.
He's talking about chemtrails.
That's true.
So I don't know if he says this on a podcast yet, but my first like foray into conspiracy theories was when I started to make a history Instagram account. I actually have like a Finstagram called History and Harmony.
It's still out there, active. You're
It's
posting
still out.
on
I
it?
haven't posted in a while
Okay.
because it's hard to keep up with. But my first post was like man on the moon. Well, the first post is obviously I'm like I've never heard this. Wasn't
Is
the
that your
fact.
is that your favorite?
My favorite post?
Your favorite conspiracy?
No, my favorite. I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite conspiracy. Really, like there are a lot of conspiracies out there that like are a little too eerie that I can't really deal with and we shouldn't talk about.
Some are
But
too dark.
This one,
some are dumb.
but I had never like even fathomed the fact that we may not have had a man on the moon.
I think that's the most believable one.
I think so. I think,
Yeah,
it's
I think
possible.
that's a most
like it's
believable.
the Cold
of them.
War. We would literally do anything to like prove that
We're superior,
Movie
we're top dog,
Hollywood was
yeah.
booming, starting to like boom at that time. There was tons, even though I'm pretty sure it happened. But then Neil
But-
Armstrong is a psycho.
Yes,
Like,
he's
Neil
weird.
Armstrong's
Yes,
a weirdo.
he is
Like,
weird.
So, I don't know. I'm not trying to be that guy, but
But I'm not trying.
have
to
you
be
seen a
that
man
guy.
on the moon since?
That's true. That's also true.
We're going to Mars right now.
Oh, would you go to Mars?
I really think that there's so much we can do here. I'm really like, why are we worrying about going to another planet when we should be like engineering our own planet to like survive,
Yeah,
sustain?
and I
our
also
planet?
don't care. I'll be dead by the time we're going to Mars anyway, most likely. So.
I don't. You might be
You
surprised.
think it'll be sooner than that?
I think that
I think we'll make
in the next 30 years, there's gonna be like normal person colonies.
30 years. I could see this shit's
Listen, there's a
increasing
good chance we get
exponentially.
visited
So.
by aliens in the next 30 years. Like,
I hope so. That'd be fire.
That would
I'm
be
sick of the
sick.
UFO grainy
Have you ever
videos.
seen
I want a
District
real
9 though?
alien. Yes. Good
the
movie.
fucking bronze man. that movie is great.
That movie's old. That's a while ago. That movie.
that's one of my favorite
I saw it in
movies.
the theaters actually.
Dark.
Yes.
Vicky's Van de Man.
Good movie. All right, we're kind of towards the end. I'm trying to think what I want to wrap on. We talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So, what do you think? So, you have music in the tuck?
I got music in the tuck for sure, and I'm really just kind of figuring out. I got to do all the videos for them. I have a lot of ideas for my videos, and yeah, the one take performance videos are dope, but I do want to get more like storyline type of videos because I feel like that. And like I said before, like this is all like I'm really in it for the long game. So like I know that every piece of content I put out, like, and that's really why I started making music too. I would always, it's so weird because whenever someone asked me something when I was younger, I'll be like, oh, I plan to live forever. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not gonna die. Like, I'm gonna live in whatever capacity forever. And then as I started making music, I was really like, this is going to be the way I do it. You know, like this is my legacy. So I got to put a lot of time into it and put a lot of effort into making it as good as possible.
Yeah, there's a term, speaking of psychology books, one book I read, there's a term for that. I forget what it is. But it's like your like immortalization project. It's not that exactly, but it's something like that's what like music is. People write books and it's all those kinds of things.
Yeah, and that's really, I think, really important to me to leave a legacy. To when my physical is no longer here, like people are gonna be able to listen to my music. People are gonna be able to see my videos, see my face like that. My kids, my lineage is gonna be able to see that. Hopefully, it's generating a lot of income for them throughout time.
That's true.
You know, Pink Floyd, the lead singer of Pink Floyd is worth like $250 million. I learned that yesterday.
Damn.
Right? Like he's booming.
That's nice.
He's killing. And, I'm just trying to get to that level. It's also, music is a way, like we were talking about how we can't afford houses. There's a good chance we can't afford a beach house. Like we're never gonna be able to get a beach house in Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I could go on and on about like the real estate thing. Our generation's getting like dicked on so.
But for me, it was like music was the way for me to create assets like out of nothing. And
that's true. That is an interesting way to put it, but it is true. If like the music, like your music catalog can become an asset in a way. People literally sell it as a whole, their whole catalog for a lump sum of cash.
Exactly.
So it is
Justin Timberlake just did it.
Yeah.
And so that's really how I'm thinking about it. Just like creating assets for myself. It all spins into everything else. Like I'm really into clothes. I'm really into fashion. And, that's another reason why I changed my name, because like you can put Sweez on a shirt, but SWEEZY4REAL takes up more real estate on the shirt, So
you have any concrete plans, or that's just a future plan?
No, I mean, so when I put on my project, that's when I'm going to start introducing my own merchandise. And,
so you think, all right, so you think we actually like we got off that you want to do a project.
I'm going to do, and I'll lay out the plan for you guys right now. I'm going to do an EP. That's called the Infinite Modes EP.
Oh, am I getting breaking news?
You're getting breaking news.
Oh, shit.
It's called the Infinite Modes EP. Infinite Modes is basically just my way of saying that you can't put me in a box. Like my music doesn't really fit in only one genre. I'm going to do all types of genres of music. And that's going to be 6 songs. And then I'm going to have Infinite Modes 1. That's going to be anywhere from 10 to 16 songs. And then I'm going to build off Infinite Modes I'm going to keep doing that
series going.
Yep. And then I'm gonna have me and Matt are gonna finish me and MRG are gonna finish our Star 6-7 projects. And I'm probably gonna do Star 6-7 too. Even though since I got my own music, since I've got my own studio, me and MRG haven't recorded as much together because usually we literally had to record.
Yeah, you had no
together.
choice. You were always with each other.
So that's why it ended up being every song I made or every like anything I wrote, like he's just
there,
jump on.
So
Exactly. But now really focused on like building up my own solo artist, just so that when me and MRG do go on tour together, like I can have a set by myself. He could have his set by himself. We could come together, and it's gonna be fun in that way. But I'm really looking forward to that whole aspect of music too, because performing for everyone, that's really the holy grail of why
I've seen both you guys perform. Good performances.
We go hard.
And you've had several in the city. So
yeah, the city is really the only place I've ever performed, and I'm excited to do. We're going to London.
Oh, you're going too?
I'm going to London.
Oh, I didn't know you were going.
London
also.
late August.
Yes.
I'm gonna do a couple songs out there. MRG, most of his fan base, I feel like, is actually in London.
Really? Yeah, well, you think because of the drill song?
Because of the drill song. Even before that, like it was. I feel like they like how a British accent is appealing to us.
Like American accent,
a New York accent, even especially, is appealing to them.
Okay, yeah.
So people overseas are really fucking with him. I'm gonna go out there, get that experience, and then. Recently I started taking vocal lessons. I never had any vocal training. Like I never sang. Like no one ever told me anything about how to sing until.
When did you learn how to sing? Like when did you know like you could sing? Like what? Like how did you start doing it?
I sang for the first time ever. I sang "She Will Be Loved" at my high school band day, my senior year. But I had never sang before that. Really, I mean, like I said, I had that karaoke machine in my room. I made a song when I was 3 years old that my grandparents still have. It was called Crash Crasher. That my grandma wrote. She wrote it for me. I couldn't even write. She wrote all the words for me, and she kept that.
That's sick.
And so even more recently, I've just been kind of focusing on kind of the more technical aspects of everything, and just trying to keep building. Because I'm really still at like I play on my level. Like let's say there are 100 levels. I'm at maybe level 10. Maybe, like, And I feel good about it. I feel good about the progress I made so far.
That's sick. And I'm expecting good cover art because he also said you care a lot about the cover art.
Big. I think cover art is very important. I think that, like I said, everything is all intertwined with each other. You got to put as much effort into every single aspect of everything.
I agree. You want it to be cohesive. You want to take every aspect of it serious. You want to.
And it's also becomes an investment in the art itself. Like now we have NFTs.
That's true too.
If you have a sick cover art, you just make that into an NFT, and then it's like more bread, right? Are you into NFTs yet?
I'm not. I got scammed in crypto. I always say I lost a lot of money in crypto last year, and I'm pretty much out on it for the most part.
And you sold it all?
Huh?
You sold all your crypto?
Sold it all because I got sick of if shit would crash, that I wouldn't be able to access my money to sell it if I wanted to. Like Coinbase would crash, all these other all the wallet things would crash. And that shit would make me so mad. I'm like, bro, I don't trust my money.
Have you seen
so fuck it.
the documentary on Netflix about the dude who started a Canadian cryptocurrency exchange? And he was like, he died. He basically died, or they say, this is the conspiracy theory. They say that he was the only person that had the codes to the wallets. Yeah. They say he was the only person who had the code to the wallets, the virtual wallet. So people lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they could never, people lost their entire life savings trying to get their money out of this exchange once this guy died. So now they do more research. Turns out this guy was a habitual scammer from day one. Like the whole exchange was a scam from the beginning. And these people were kind of shit out of luck at this point. Like, people lost $500,000 each. People lost everything.
Yeah, it's not FDIC insured.
But it's like, where's the money? And it's like, no one knows where the money is now. It could just technically be in this guy's virtual wallet.
Yeah, he's got to turn in, you got to find a way, I guess, to turn it into cash somehow.
I don't think they can. I don't think they did.
Yeah, interesting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so but NFTs though, getting back to that, I do think that's going to be I think like the idea of just making, just like, oh, here's art, but it's an NFT. I feel like that's going to die out, but it's going to be, I think it'll be used for artists and creatives a lot as another stream of income. Exactly. Like for ticketing stuff and things like that.
At the end of the day, it's just another product for an artist to sell.
Yeah, that to me, I mean, it makes sense for art too, but it makes a lot of sense for me for creatives using it as just like another stream of income and getting creative with it. So I see that. I definitely think that'll be a thing. So it makes sense.
So I'm excited for all that. That's why I'm big into making nice artworks, because I'm eventually going to have NFTs for everything. And at the end of the day, if you get people to buy into you and they're going to give you money, like that's what it's
basically their way of investing in someone they're a fan of, kind of.
Yeah, and it cuts out the middleman even though they have the gas fees and there is a middleman of whatever the platform is. But I actually just saw that LimeWire.
Yes, they're trying to be a marketplace.
Back as an NFT platform.
I did see that too.
LimeWire is where I got my first start in music. I used to make like mashups as a child.
Really?
On LimeWire, yep. Download a lot of illegal videos.
Fun fact: I never used LimeWire or Napster or any illegal thing. I was buying shit on iTunes.
That's
bro.
Privilege.
Yes, that was. Yes, my
parents are tight.
Literally, but I had to get the songs approved by my parents. So I remember one I always remember is because iTunes would give you the 30-second preview. Then eventually they changed it to a minute 30 sometimes, but it was usually a minute preview. And I remember the one I wanted was Fireman by Lil Wayne.
Oh, great song.
And the end of the preview would be like, I see she wearing them jeans that show her butt crack. And then the preview would cut out. My parents would be like, you can't buy this shit.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
But you were able to buy it, so you didn't get that album?
Eventually I did, but not when my parents first heard that she got them jeans that show her butt crack. That was not approved at first.
Your parents are tight like that. My mom is all in it. Like that's what I am very appreciative that my mom is pretty young. She's more into rap than me. She'll hit me up. She'll be like, have you heard this new album? Like it's fire.
Yeah, it's like my parents only listened to my dad listened to Aerosmith. He had some rock. My mom was mostly disco and funk and shit.
So she loved the new Drake album.
Yeah, so I told her she would like it, but that's the kind of shit I like. Like I always like soul, 80s funk kind of shit, all those kinds of stuff. She Earth, Wind and Fire was always her favorite, or Kool and the Gang were hers. I forget what else she really liked.
So she wasn't with it.
My uncle loved David Bowie. That's another one I really like a lot.
Incredible.
David Bowie's a legend. Yeah. So
they weren't with it when you came up with the rap shit.
No, they were not. They were not with it at first.
They didn't let you. So how did you, when you got the 50 Cent album, you bought it physical? Get Rich Die Trying?
No, I don't have a physical. My first physical album was Good Charlotte album, I think. And for Good Charlotte and Big Willie Style.
Nice. Oh, Big Willie Style. Wow.
And Smash Mouth, maybe. Those are probably my 3.
So you're a big punk rocker guy.
Yes, I used to be. I was never
Warped Tour.
I was never a bit. Not really though. Like when I got to college, I didn't know. When you probably have this, but you knew it. Like people would sing Blink-182 and Sum 40. I didn't know that shit. I didn't learn the lyrics to those songs till like the end of my college tenure because I never listened. I was the weird kid listening to rap in high school. Like as I always tell my little cousin, like it's cool to listen to rap now. It wasn't cool when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was weird for listening to like all my friends. I mean,
I think that's a Jersey thing because in the city we listen.
Well, in the city, yeah, I guess the city's different. Like
I remember when ASAP came out for the first time.
Yeah, like in the suburbs, no
crazy.
one at my high school was like really listening to rap like that. Like it was cool to listen to like the punk rock shit, pop shit, I guess. But I would be listening to like I went through phases where I was listening to Sean Price.
I didn't know that.
Rest in peace, Sean Price. He he's from Brooklyn. He passed away like a few years ago. Legend.
I'm interested to know what genre of music you think has the still the most runway to grow. Because I mean, rap is everything is kind of melding together anyway. So it's like
I want to lean towards electronic. That just like seems to make the most sense.
Like Calvin Harris type. Even though Funkways Volume 1 is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yes, that is a great album.
Yeah.
But I'm just basing that off of it seems futuristic.
Yeah.
But like that's probably not right. But because that is a little less based on the lyricism of the songs. So I feel like it might be the least amount of learning curve for someone to make the music. If you can do it on more software, you don't need as much like musical like instrumentation.
But production is not easy.
Production's not easy, but I just feel like there's less barriers to entry with like electronic music.
Especially now that everyone could get GarageBand and stuff like that.
So I could see creators who want to make music in the future go towards that as like the easiest like way to start and then just expand from there. That'd be my best guess.
And other than me and MRG, like who is your favorite like up and coming artist right now?
Up and coming? Are we talking like people I'm friends with? Or are we talking like up and coming like
we're talking about,
I found their music?
Let's say someone you discovered online like from an ad or something like that. Is there anyone you discovered from an ad that you're like,
not an ad? No, never ads.
Good to know.
I'm trying to think. I found... You know where sometimes you find good songs low key is
TikTok?
Twitter when people will
I do that shit.
When people reply
I do that shit
to shit with like, yo, check out my new video. I found good songs from that. Sometimes I check them sometimes and I'll be like, oh, that's actually fire.
That's one of my biggest things. When I first started making music, I didn't have my own equipment. And so I couldn't every night I couldn't record songs. I would literally go on Twitter and I would search need new music, and anyone who ever tweeted I need new music, I'll reply to my music. And I got over 1,000 followers on my playlist, my Star 67 Sound playlist that way. Like I got a lot of like the foundation of like my own promotion through that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I actually do low key find shit like that. I'm trying to think of who is
word of mouth is powerful.
Word of mouth is powerful. That's why people should be supportive, like you were saying.
Exactly.
All right, I think we should wrap it. Cool. So where can people find you?
Everyone, I am all over the internet at SWEEZY4REAL. That's 4, the number 4, SWEEZY4REAL. It's nice to see you, Don Chenz. It's been a long time coming.
That's true.
You've been supporting me since I really made my first song.
Probably, yes.
You were at my
Probably
first
since the
show.
beginning. I was at your first show. Yes.
And I really appreciate you for
Thank you
for all the kind words you've given me and all the encouragement you've given me over the years. And we're still really getting started. Like this is your new podcast. This is only your 2nd episode. Like I'm on my 3rd song, and like we got a lot of runaway. Like we're next up right now.
That's true. Fuck yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate
my brother.
you. And when you blow up, and this is your first interview, right? Is your first one?
This is my first interview.
It's gonna be sick. This is where it started.
Hey, read some books.